بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن أعداهم. Brothers and sisters, respected viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. By the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have another opportunity to be with you another night from the holy land of Karbala, next to the shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, discussing a very important topic, and that is Aliyun fil Quran. Why Imam Ali alayhi salam, that we're talking about him, and the importance of knowing the hadith and narrations and the verses that are talking about Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is the topic of our discussion. Within this book, Aliyun fil Quran, by Grand Ayatollah Uzma Sadiq al-Shirazi, who wrote it more than 45 years ago, he brought more than 700 pages, 700 hadith from the Holy Quran and the narrations from the non-Shia books, discussing those verses that is related to Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and it was revealed about the commander of the faithful Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Because we do see this argument made numerous times by the non-Shia, that if wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, the guardianship of the commander of the faithful, is so important, why his name is not mentioned within the Holy Quran? Why there is no mention of his name within the Holy Quran, within the verse of the Holy Quran, if that is so important? One argument can be made against them. Number one is these 700 verses that, again, according to non-Shia sources, these 700 verses are about Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Number one. Number two, the answer we can give them is that not that everything that is in Quran has importance as the reason why it's in the Quran. For example, Allah talks a chapter about elephant, or Allah talks about camel. Camel doesn't give superiority, doesn't have superiority over other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the rulings, sent us the book, and the revelations of these, and the reason why these verses was revealed about Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, answers to their questions. We reach Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 58, where Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذ قلنا ادخلوا هذه القرية فكلوا منها حيث شئتم رغدا وادخلوا الباب سجدا وقولوا حطة نغفر لكم خطاياكم وسنزيد المحسنين. And when we said, enter this town and eat thereof freely whensoever you wish, and enter prostrating at the gate, and say, relieve us of the burden of sins, that we may forgive you iniquities, and soon we will enhance the virtuous. We see within the hadith and the narrations of the non-Shia books, روى الفقيه الشافعي جلال الدين السيوطي في تفسيره الدر المنثور, as a whole tafsir written by Jalal al-Din al-Suyuti called Tafsir Durr al-Manthur, about the verses of the Holy Quran. He brings this narration, and the qawli ta'ala, when he reaches this verse, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا ادْخُلُوا هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ, all the way to the end of the verse, also another non-Shia sources, where it says, وَأَخْرَجَ ابن أبي شيبة عن علي رضي الله عنه. Ibn Abi Shaybah narrates from Imam Ali alayhi salam. Again, they say radiyallahu an, may Allah be satisfied with him. We say alayhi salam. The difference is, how can the representative of Allah, that Allah has sent and Allah has chosen him and he has purified him according to the ayat al-tathir, إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. If Allah has purified them, can it be that he won't be satisfied with them? So we send the salam to the Imam. أنه قال إنما مثلنا في هذه الأمة. Indeed, our example in this, مثلنا, the example of us in this nation, كسفينة نوح, is the example of the ark of Prophet Noah على نبينا وعليه عليه السلام. Again, I read and I translate. إنما, indeed and surely and verily, مثلنا, our example in the ummah of the Prophet, in the nation of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, كسفينة نوح, is as ark of salvation, ark of Prophet Noah على نبينا وآله وعليه السلام. وكباب حطة, and door for relief and salvation. Because we see during the time of Prophet Nuh على نبينا وآله وعليه السلام, the only people who were saved by the storm, by the rainfall, by the water coming from the oven, and everywhere was filled with water, and the thunderstorm, again, the whole world was covered with water. The only people who were rescued were the ones who got into the ark of Prophet Nuh ala nabina wa alayhi salam. Doesn't matter what is your relationship, Prophet Nuh. If you didn't get on the ark, you won't be saved. As we see Prophet Noah, or Prophet Nuh's son, Prophet Nuh telling him, "Come, give me your hand. Get on this ark. It will be completely filled with water, the world, and you will not be able to be saved." But we see that it didn't work. So that's another hadith that we see within the books of non-Shia. I need to tell people, our audience, about, you see the wind, probably you're hearing the wind, and the cameras may be moving, my microphone is moving. It's a very, very windy, alhamdulillah, in Karbala, and storm windy, alhamdulillah. I believe this dust storm has calmed down, but still you can see the wind, and we didn't want to cancel the show in order for us to serve as much as possible, serve you, serve Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the Quran. So if there is some problem with the sound or the picture, we do apologize from you, brothers and sisters. So again, Safina to Nuh, no matter if you are the son, no matter if you are the son of Prophet Nuh, but you don't get on the ark of salvation of Prophet Nuh, you will be swallowed by the ocean. وَنَقَلَ قَرِيبًا مِنْ ذَلِكَ الطَّبَرِي. Tabari also narrates within his book في المسترشد في ضمن خطبة لعلي. Tabari also narrates it from Amir al-Mu'mineen when he gave a sermon. ونقله النعماني أيضا عن المواقف والمخالف. He brings many sources that this Imam Ali alayhi salam and other people said that this is the hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Next verse, chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 60, where we see Allah says, وَإِذَا اسْتَسْقَى مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ فَقُلْنَا اضْرِبْ بِعَصَاكَ الْحَجَرَ فانفجرت منه 12 عينا قد علم كل أناس مشربهم كلوا واشربوا من رزق الله ولا تعثوا في الأرض مفسدين. And when Moses prayed for water for his people, we said, strike the rock with your staff. Thereafter 12 fountains gushed from the ground. Every tribe came to know its drinking place. Eat and drink of Allah's provision, and do not act wickedly on the earth, causing corruption. That's another verse that, again, according to non-Shia sources, it is about Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. روى أبو الحسن الفقيه محمد بن علي بن شاذان في المناقب 100 من طريق العامة. Again, these are all the names and the sources and the chain of narrators. From narrators عن ابن عباس عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري. في الحديث قال لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا رسول الله. Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari asks the Holy Prophet, ما عدة الأئمة? How many imams are there He asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قال صلى الله عليه وآله, the Holy Prophet replied, يا جابر سألتني رحمك الله عن الإسلام بأجمعه. Very important for us to pause here. Rasulullah praises him and says, may God's blessing and mercy be upon you. I wish you were here. It's beautiful wind. Again, we do apologize on behalf of the staff and crew that are here for the loud noise of the wind. But inshallah, we're trying our best to serve the cause of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam and the Holy Quran. Rasulullah sends his blessings, rahimakallah, sends his blessings upon Jabir. You ask an al-Islam bi-ajma'ah. You are asking about complete Islam. You're asking about the religion of Islam by asking about how many Imams are there. Because Islam without Imams, Islam without a guardian to protect it, Islam without a teacher is not complete, it's not perfect, it's missing. إلا أن قال, it's a lengthy hadith, إلا أن قال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وعدتهم عدة العيون التي انفجرت منه أي من الحجر لموسى بن عمران حين ضرب بعصا الحجر فانفجرت منه 12 عينا. The amount of Imams that you ask, how many Imams will be there after me, Ya Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, is the amount of rivers that gushed and the water fountains that gushed from the earth for the tribes of Bani Israel, which were 12. Many occasions, Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi stated that Khulafa min ba'di 12. Imams after me are 12. Caliphs after me are 12. Many times, throughout many means and at different times, he did mention. So our question will be, since both Shia and non-Shia agree that there are 12 Imams after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are those Imams? Can they name them? And did Rasulullah name them? He didn't. He didn't name those that they think that they are part of the 12s. No, the ones that he named, starting with the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, all the way to Imam al-Mahdi ajralallah ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif. That's another verse. Chapter 2, verse 82, where we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون. And those who have faith and do righteous deeds, they shall be the inhabitants of paradise. They shall remain in it forever. Who are those people who believe and act upon righteousness, and they are doing whatever they can to be, and they are doing righteous? Rawa al-Hafiz al-Hakim al-Hasakani al-Hanafi, a Hanafi scholar that we have mentioned his name many times before. In his book Shawahid al-Tanzil, حدثونا عن أبي بكر السبيعي or السبيعي, one of them, بإسناد المذكور, and the chain of narrators that he has mentioned, عن ابن عباس مما نزل من القرآن خاصة في رسول الله وعلي وأهل بيته من سورة البقرة, about Rasulullah, Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and his immaculate progeny from second chapter. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Who are those people? This non-Shia scholars, we need to keep emphasizing this. This non-Shia scholar says, نَزَلَتْ فِي عَلِي خَاصَّةً. It has been revealed about Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam exclusively, specifically it's about Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. وَهُوَ أَوَّلُ مُؤْمِن. He's the first believer. وَأَوَّلُ مُصَلٍّ بَعْدَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ. And he's the first to pray after Rasulullah. Again, my question will be, why shouldn't we go to follow anyone else but the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? If he is the first to believe, if he was the one that never worshipped idols like Rasulullah, if he is the one who prayed first behind Rasulullah, if he is Sirat al-Mustaqim, that we will talk about it with the next couple of verses, if he is with all the virtues that he has, why should we go somewhere else? Why should we follow someone else? What virtues those people possess that Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam doesn't possess, doesn't have, that we went other places and we didn't stay with Amir al-Mu'mineen? I mean, after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So that's until then about the non-Shia sources. And then Ayatollah Azma Sadiq al-Shirazi has a interpretation. أقول قوله نزل في علي خاصة. He's trying to elaborate on this phrase by the non-Shia scholar, نزل في علي خاصة, that this verse والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون, those who believe, who are a believer and act upon righteousness, they are the inhabitants of paradise and they will stay in it forever. And this non-Shia scholar says that it is specifically about Amir al-Mu'mineen. Says Sadiq al-Shirazi states, بِاعْتِبَارِهِ الْمِصْدَاقِ الْأَكْمَلِ. He's the most complete example of righteous people and believer and those who act upon righteousness. وَالْفَرْدْ الْأَوَّلِ الَّذِي شَمَلَتْهُ هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ الْكَرِيمَةِ. And the first individual that this ayah and this verse was revealed upon him. فَكَانَ عَلِي عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ مِصْدَاقًا. He's a true example and true evidence. حيث لم يكن فردا آخر غيره مصداقا لها. There was no one else that time that was the meaning that this verse could apply to him. وهو مع ذلك أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا. He has the most complete. He is Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful. As we know from ahadith that there are 10 levels to Iman. That Salman, Jabir, they were at the different levels, the highest 9 and 8 and 9 and 10. Amir al-Mu'mineen is the commander of these people. فصار صدق الإيمان عليه بأولية وأولوية معا فكأنه هو المؤمن الوحيد. Because he has the complete Iman, as he is the only believer that is out there. وروى الحاكم الحسكاني أيضا. This non-Shia scholar also narrates, حدثنا الإمام أبو طاهر الزيادي, narrates Abu Tahir al-Ziyadi, عن ابن عباس لعلي أربع خصال. My question again will be, if you as a non-Shia scholar, you have mentioned these narrations, these virtues, one after one after one, which the virtues of the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, it's endless. It doesn't finish. Why don't you follow him? Why you don't take him as your imam, as the one who can guide you to the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He says, this non-Shia scholar says, لَعَلِيٍّ أَرْبَعَ خِصَالٍ. Imam Ali alayhi salam, according to him, has 4 characteristics. هو أول عربي وعجمي صلى مع النبي. He is the first Arab amongst the Arab people and Ajami. Within the Arab culture, anybody who was not from the Arab culture and spoke other language than Arabic, he would be called Ajami. Salla ma'an Nabi. He's the first amongst the people, Arabs and non-Arabs, to pray behind Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. وهو الذي كان لواءه معه في كل زحف. He was his flag bearer in every battle. He was there with him. And we have numerous times that Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam defended Rasulullah and protected Rasulullah while all the other companions of Rasulullah flee and left out of fear. The third, according to this non-Shia scholar, وهو الذي صبر معه يوم المهراس انهزم الناس كلهم غيره. The day of Mihras, one of the battles, everybody ran away accept him. He didn't run away. He stood next to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, protecting him with his life. وهو الذي غسله وهو الذي أدخله قبره. He is the one amongst 4 characteristics that this non-Shia scholar mentioned. He is the one who washed and gave ghusl to Rasulullah after Rasulullah's departure from this world. And he's the only one who buried him. It reminds me of a story that one of the reverts that I was interviewing about, this was more than 12, 13 years ago. I used to talk with the reverts, see what made them to accept the religion of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. She was saying that she was reading the religion of Islam. While she was going through pages and pages, the battles of Rasulullah, what happened to Rasulullah, all the way until she reached the point that Rasulullah departed this world. She said, I was reading that the head of Rasulullah was on the lap of the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And all the other companions dispersed. She said, I found out that this time, where did they go? We know where they went. They went all to Saqifah. Rasulullah is not buried yet. Rasulullah hasn't been prayed on yet. She said, I figured out that the most important thing that one can do in this moment is to stay next to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nothing else is more important than Rasulullah. Nothing else. Rasulullah, the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can we leave him and go to something else, finding out who's supposed to be the Khalifa, which Rasulullah already appointed? So she said, I found out that this is the most important, head of Rasulullah, on the lap of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, everybody else dispersed. I found out that they all are wrong, and the commander of the faithful is what he did is right, and this is who we're supposed to follow after Rasulullah. That's why I followed Amir al-Mu'mineen and I became a Shia. And he says it also, this non-Shia scholar said that this is a non-Shia scholar says this is a characteristics that no one else has it. There are more verses, inshallah. We will cover it within the next episode, inshallah. Chapter 2, verse 124, inshallah. We will leave it tomorrow. We will conclude with the most important dua. We have to keep reminding ourselves that this is the most important dua, and that is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the appearance of our beloved Imam al-Mahdi ajalallah ta'ala farajuh al-sharif. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.